welcome to BOOKMAS Day 7. Today I'm going to be telling you about all of the new releases coming out in 2024 that I'm excited for, or Nathan is excited for, or I am not anticipating at all, just for one of them. The drink of the day is Diet Coke with peach and strawberry syrup in it. You take the girl out of Utah, but you can't take the Utah out of the girl. I only lived there for 3 years though. Alright, starting with January. January 1st, Red God by Pierce Brown comes out. That is the 7th and last Red Rising book. That's one Nathan is very excited for. He had no idea it was coming out that soon. Oh my gosh, this one I'm so excited for. So, January 16th, The Fury by Alex Michaelides comes out. He wrote The Silent Patient. And this is what the blurb says. A masterfully paced thriller about a reclusive ex-movie star and her famous friends whose spontaneous trip to a private Greek island is upended by murder. So basically, I think it's Glass Onion, and I love Glass Onion, so I am very much looking forward to that. And this is gonna kind of like break his tie, if I like him or not, because I really didn't like The Maidens, but I loved Silent Patient, so this has promise. On the 23rd, No One Can Know by Katie Alice Marshall is coming out. I don't know this author, but as I was just browsing, it kind of caught my attention and it looks really good. So it's about a girl named Emma who hasn't told her husband much about her past at all. But then like she gets laid off, their house gets foreclosed on, she's pregnant, like their life kind of goes to shit and they need somewhere to go. And so she brings him back to her only other asset, which is her childhood home where her parents were murdered, and her sister is the main suspect, and it's still unsolved. So she has two sisters, and they've never spoken about what happened that day. So that looks very, very good. Oh, okay, January 30th, House of Shadow and Flame by Sarah J. Maas comes out, which is Crescent City 3. So I have no summary for that because I didn't look because I haven't finished those two books, but now I'm stressed because I got the special editions that are so pretty, and I'm not gonna, I thought it was just a duology. I thought I was safe buying the set, but we'll see. I honestly might get it on Kindle just to not ruin the vibe. Also on the 30th is Come and Get It by Kylie Reed. This is another author that I hadn't heard of, but it was on a couple sites for most anticipated books. It's a fresh and provocative story about a residential assistant and her messy entanglement with an associate professor and 3 unruly students. So that just kind of sounded interesting. It said it's gonna bring you back to college days. It kind of gave The Secret History mixed with They Never Learn, which are 2 books that I really love, so. On to February. February 6th, Bride by Ali Hazelwood comes out. This is her fantasy debut. It's a vampire werewolf story. I didn't really read too much into the plot, but I think it's a vampire like bride, vampire princess, and an alpha wolf. Oh my gosh, on the 13th, we have Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey is all over my husband's TikTok, and it is so funny. He sent me the TikTok she made about this, about like making golf sexy. It's so funny. Okay, so basically this one's gonna be about a big golf star who has this like one fangirl who's like his biggest fan, and like when he starts not playing as well, like she still supports him, but then he just completely like craps the bed, and even she's like, all right, and so she leaves, and he's like, I've messed everything up. And so he goes to her house and is like, hey, want to be my caddy? And she's like, you know what, my life kind of sucks right now, so sure. And they're gonna like split the cash prize at the end of this tournament. And so they like travel together. So it's kind of giving me Flawless by Elsie Silver vibes, like traveling for sports stuff. So I'm excited to try that one out. Also on the 13th, oh, there's 2 more on the 13th actually. It's a busy day. Okay, so the 13th, Magnolia Parks Into the Dark comes out. I will not be reading. The fact that there's another Magnolia Parks book lets me know that they still haven't figured their shit out, and I don't want to be around for them to do that because it makes me angry. But I'm noting it because I know it's very popular. Also on the 13th, we have The Friendship Study by Ruby Barrett. So it's about Jesse and Lulu, like Delulu, that's why I laughed. So Jesse has just had an injury that made his career as a firefighter basically end, and his grandpa has Alzheimer's and he's struggling for money, so he signs up for a paid psychological study. And Lulu Banks is looking for a fresh start. She just had a really bad breakup. She is known for just being too much and too loud. And so she decides that the friendship study seems like a great idea. That's what the study they both sign up for is called. But then she's paired up with Jesse, who ghosted her after a blind date that ended with a steamy makeout. And so there's a strict no romance rule because it's a friendship study. This just seems like the perfect formula, honestly. All right, we've got March. March 1st, Hate Mail by Donna Marchetti comes out. It's about Naomi and Luca, who were pen pals in 5th grade. And it says, we'll more like bitter rivals caught in an epic battle of insults. But then, like, 12 years of writing, they have, like, a very deep friendship. And then the letters just suddenly stop. And then 2 years later, a new envelope turns up out of the blue at her desk at a local news station. And she's determined not to let him have the final word. So, I love romance books. I love finding ones that have like a plot I've never done before, and I feel like the secret pen pals, when it's not catfishing, is very good. On the 25th of March, Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage comes out. That's the sequel to Done and Dusted. Sequel in the way that like Chestnut Springs has sequels, but they're all kind of self-contained in a way. I haven't read Done and Dusted yet, but it's on my TBR. I have it on my Kindle, so I'll probably get that as well. The next day, the 26th, How to Solve Your Murder by Kristen Perrin comes out. It's about this lady who spends 60 years trying to solve her own murder because she was told by like a psychic or something. Yeah, she was told by a psychic that she was going to get killed, and she spends her entire life trying to prevent it, but then it all comes true and she does get murdered, and her great niece is deciding to solve it. So that looks so good. I'm so excited for this year. Now we have April. April 2nd, The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson comes out. She's the one who wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that trilogy. It's a true crime-fueled mystery thriller about a girl determined to uncover the shocking truth about her missing mother while filming a documentary on the unsolved case. And it's called The Reappearance of Rachel Price. So Rachel Price is her mom, and she suddenly turns up again. So it's very much A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, like vibes of like researching a case, but then also Local Woman Missing, of like somebody reappearing out of nowhere and us all like, that was my Mike's Mike impression. I hope it was good. April 9th, The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo comes out. She wrote Shadow and Bone, which I didn't read, but she wrote Six of Crows duology, which I did read and I really liked. So this is about, it's honestly a bit of a complicated plot position, but to summarize, there's a girl who's a servant in a like high society family's house, and she is able to like, it just says she can make little miracles happen. And so the family kind of uses her to like up their position, but then eventually she gets the attention of the King of Spain, and she's like asked to help him, and she's like, OMG, this is going to be so good for my life. But it's like a fine line, and it says that she's put in danger because if they find out about her Jewish blood, she'll be under the Inquisitor's wrath. So it looks very, very good. And I think it's going to be a little bit of romance. Squirrel. April 16th, This Is Me Trying by Raquel Marie is going to come out. I simply clicked on this to figure out what it's about because it's the title of a Taylor Swift lyric, but it's about these 3 kids, Bryce, Beatrice, and Santiago, who are like inseparable as kids, but then Santiago moves away, their friendship crumbles. 3 years later, Bryce completes S-word, and she's left to grieve by herself until Santiago comes back, and he had completely ghosted them when he left. So it's just about like grief and love, mental illness, forgiveness, and like future after loss, and it seems very, very good. On a completely separate note, April 23rd, Funny Story by Emily Henry comes out. This one is a girl who falls in love with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex, if you followed that. I'm hoping to read that one this year, but I will simply not buy the hardcover, so I might read that in 2025. Moving on to June, I don't have any listed for May. June, Daydream by Hannah Grace comes out. That's the 3rd in her Maple Hills series that started with Icebreaker and then was Wildfire. This one's about Henry, So I love Henry. So I have high hopes for this. And then the girl is Haley, who is an aspiring novelist and very smart. And basically she needs to tutor him because he is in a class with his least favorite professor and it's really hard. And he is the captain of the hockey team, so he simply cannot fail the class. So I hope that is better than Wildfire. June 11th, Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood comes out. Anything she releases, I will buy. A forbidden secret affair proves that all's fair in love and science. From what I read, it's like a food scientist whose company is being taken like a hostile takeover, and the guy in charge of the hostile takeover is the love interest. So this looks very, very good. Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher comes out June 18th. That's the second in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I didn't read the tropes for that because I still need to read Love Redesigned, but 4th of July, Reckless by Lauren Roberts comes out. That's the sequel to Powerless. I also didn't look up what that's about because I haven't read that yet, but I will. So I'm excited for that. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that this was happening and I'm so excited. July 30th, The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes is coming out and it takes place, I'm assuming, in the future, and Avery is older and she's running a big like game for people to win money. And it's like, it's giving Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in that there's like 7 tickets and everybody has secrets and stuff. So she's giving Willy Wonka. And it does seem like Grayson might be central to that plot, so I need justice for my man Grayson so bad right now. We only have September and December left, actually. So 24th of September, Wrath of the Triple Goddess by Rick Riordan's coming out. That's the 8th Percy Jackson and the Olympians book. The 7th one, Chalice of the Gods, I think, came out this year, but guess what? It's in hardback, so I have not read it. But I will read anything Percy Jackson related. The September 12th, Assistant to the Villain Book 2 comes out by Hannah Nicole Mayer. It doesn't have a cover or a title, but oh my gosh, I need it in my hands right this second. Oh my gosh, I'm so looking forward to that. And then finally, December 1st, we have Imperium Book 3 by Rebecca Yarros. No title, no cover, but that'll be the 3rd and the 4th Wing series, and hopefully book 2 is just suffering from like middle book-itis, where it'll be better once we have all the information and we look back on it and it was setting everything up. That's my hope, at least, because I did not like Iron Flame. So those are the books that I'm looking forward to that are coming out in 2024 or 2025, depending on the paperback hardcover decisions that are made by publishers this year. But I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.